Hello everybody and welcome back to Prem predictions for match week 13. We're going to kick it off with Nottingham Forest versus Liverpool. But before we get into that match week 13, let's have a bit of a recap on match week 12. Brighton are still winless under De Zerbi, and Bournemouth's unbeaten run for 16 games has came to a close. And Brentford got a really good point against Chelsea. Leicester beating the Leeds. Leicester beating Leicester. Leicester beating the Leeds. Massive result. Obviously Newcastle beating Everton, which is a massive result for them as they go into this weekend. It's in Tottenham, and the big one out of them all, Stevie G getting sacked. So to kick off match week 13, Nottingham Forest as they take on Liverpool. Nottingham Forest haven't won a game since early August when the season started. We're now in match week 13 and they're winless in 9 games now. So I mean, they hang on for a lot of that Brighton game as well. I thought Brighton were very unlucky in that game. There wasn't really no attacking attempt really. But there's so many problems going on with Nottingham Forest at the minute. Steve Cooper doesn't even know his best 11. And there's just so many problems. I have all these players, but he hasn't got a clue what to do with them. Liverpool, on the other hand, have just got back-to-back clean sheets and back-to-back wins for the first time I think this season. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, to keep back-to-back clean sheets, it's something that they needed. Not just the wins, but the clean sheets. I think they've struggled so much defensively this season. Look at that Arsenal game. When you look at just other games out there as well, they've looked a bit uneven, unorganised. Even against Fulham, I didn't think they looked that organised really. I felt they're a bit all over the shop. I think Mitrovic ragged them around a lot, but no, I mean, I don't think this is going to be an interesting game whatsoever. I think Liverpool are going to absolutely batter them. I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool. Everton versus Crystal Palace. Everton have just lost the last 3 games. Before that, they were actually on a good run. But I don't know what's happened. They got beat from Man United 2-1. They got beat off Tottenham Hotspur 2-0. And then they just got beaten off Newcastle 1-0. So 3 big games, which obviously have affected the balance of things. That's what you gotta. That's what you gotta ask. Really, does that affect the relationship with Frank Lampard? I don't think it does. I still think they'll finish top 10 this season. I think they're just going on a bit of a bad form at the minute. But I think if you look at those games, I think they've actually played quite well. I thought they started well against Man United. I'm trying to say in the tricky tour. I thought they had some big chances in that first half against Tottenham as well. In the second half against Newcastle, the first half they were shambolic. In the second half against Newcastle, I thought they were a bit better, but they had no sort of a bit of technicality. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, have just beat Wolves. That came behind from going 1-0 down to winning 2-1. And they're unbeaten in the last 3. So for me, I'm going to go 1-1. Man City as they take on Brighton at the Etihad. Now Man City have just came off a loss against Liverpool. So I get the only goal there. But I think Man City were very poor in this game really. I don't think they were the same Man City that we've seen this season really. I just think just mediocre in my opinion. But they'll be going in this game wanting to win. Brighton, on the other hand, haven't won in the last 4 games, despite getting an impressive result against Liverpool, 3-3, getting a point out of that. Other than that, they haven't really done much. Brighton, don't get me wrong, I thought it was harsh against Tottenham. I thought it was against them, and obviously against Nottingham Forest. But one of these days, they will get a result. And I tell you what, they will get a result over Man City. And it's not going to be a win. I tell you what, though, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was a sticky 1-1 or 0-0. So I'm going to go down 1-1. It's the big one this weekend. It's Chelsea as they take on Manchester United at Stamford Bridge. This is a real test of this for Man United. You know, they just came off a great result against Tottenham. I think it was a very influential performance by Man United. I felt from minute 1 to the 90th minute, they were absolutely fantastic. So you can't, you know, much praise. Chelsea on the other hand, they just look brilliant at the minute. You know, don't get me wrong, Brentford have stopped their streak now. They were on a good streak of winning games, but that doesn't obviously stop anything really. You know, I think this game will probably be. I think it'll be 2-0 Chelsea this game. I don't know. I can't really see Man United doing much. I could be proved wrong here, but I can't really see them doing much. I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. Wolves versus Leicester City. Two struggling teams this season. You know, Wolves have a big problem up front. They can't score goals. And Leicester, well, they've kept clean sheets as of late. I think they kept back-to-back clean sheets, but at the start of the season, they were dreadful at the back, really. But Wolves, as we know, have been very poor this season. Lack of quality up front. They've defended well, but they haven't really been scoring goals. They haven't been winning games. It took them 7 or 8 games to win. That coming against Southampton. The manager eventually getting sacked after getting beat 2-0 by West Ham. Yes, when Bruno Lage got sacked 2-0 against West Ham. And then obviously Leicester, who are just a bizarre side at the minute, really. I know, it's just bizarre. Because they got beat at Bournemouth, which I felt he's going to get the sack. But then they got a draw against Palace, and obviously they're just beating Leeds there. So they're a funny outside rest of the season. They really are. I can't really comprehend what they're going to, do this season, really. Because sometimes they look really bad. Sometimes they're going to finish 20th, and then sometimes they look like they're going to finish maybe 13th or 14th. So it's a funny one. But for me, for this game, I'm going to go 1-1. Aston Villa versus Brentford. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Aston Villa go into this game managers. They've just sacked the manager, Steven Gerrard, last night when they got absolutely hammered by Fulham 3-0. It was just, well, it was a lackluster performance by them, really, but has been all season, I think, really. I think the only good performance he put in was against Man City. There's probably other ones out there I couldn't think of, but not really compares to that Man City game. He'll come back to that, and they should have won. And maybe that might have saved his job. But at the end of the day, really, the form wasn't good enough, and it was quite inevitable that he was going to get the sack. Because judging from last season, they were terrible, and judging from this season, they were pretty mediocre. I mean, they sit 16th, 15th, near that relegation zone, so. Last season people were talking about top 6. Now they're at 17th. How many points away from top 6? And then you got Brentford on the other hand, who were going on a bit of a disastrous run. You got beat 5-1 off Newcastle, and you got beat Arsenal 3-0. But they turned around. They got a brilliant result against Brighton, beating them 2-0, and obviously getting a point against Chelsea. Southampton versus Arsenal. Southampton have just got a good result against Bournemouth. Chiam's getting the only goal there. So that's obviously a big result there. They're a struggling side this season. I don't think Ralph Hasenhüttl has been very influential for the Saints in these past couple of seasons. Arsenal, on the other hand, didn't play in much week 12. So they've had more time to train and whatnot, fitness levels. So I think they'll be going this game really prepared. I think, honestly, I think it'll be 2-0 Arsenal. That's what I'm going to go with. I don't think Southampton stand a chance. This could come back to bite me in the arse. But I don't think they stand a chance. 2-0 Arsenal. Aston Villa versus Brentford. Aston Villa, well, as we know, they sacked their manager last night. They got a bit of a battering against Fulham, getting beat 3-0. It was starting to turn sour. The fans seeing get out of our club, slipped on his arse. Really not good stuff by the Villa fans, and obviously, a not good performance as well. Getting beat 3 by Fulham is terrible. That's their first clean sheet at home this season, I think. So they'll go in this game managerless. Brentford are in a good bit of form at the minute. 2-0 against Brighton and a 0-0 against Chelsea. So 2 big results there. But I think the way Brentford are playing at the minute and the way they look these past couple of games, I think this will be a walk in the park, and I think it'll probably be. I think it'll be 3-0 Brentford. Yeah, 3-0 Brentford against Villa. Leeds United versus Fulham. I would, you know what? I was looking at the stats earlier on and whatnot, and obviously Leeds' form, and I didn't realise how bad Leeds have been these past 6-7 games. Ever since they beat Chelsea 3-0 at Ellen Road, it's just been disastrous. I mean, we're not winning 6-7 games. In obviously, Jesse March was talking about this earlier on. They were chatting Marcel Bielsa's name at the Leicester match at the King Power. So, that tells you something, that there is tension there. And another question: could Jesse March be the next one out the door? Which surprised me really, because I thought the start of the season really well, but they're not winning 6-7 games. It tells you a lot. It really does tell you a lot. I think. I mean, Fulham just got a great result against Aston Villa, but if Leeds don't win this game, I don't know what will happen. I think Leeds will come back though. I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds. Tottenham versus Newcastle. This is a really big game. It's another big game. This is Chelsea Man United. Because these are 2 brilliant sides to watch. And it'll be in another test of this for Newcastle. But I don't think Tottenham, have been as good as what people made out to be this season. They've got 2 defeats, and they've won, a good chunk of games this season in Europe, in the Premier League and other competitions as well. But I think at times they're quite an overrated side, really. I thought they were absolutely terrible against Man United. I thought they were terrible against Arsenal. Against the big dogs, they've crumbled a lot. I think that Newcastle can get at this defence. And that's why I'm going to go with 1-1. I think it'll be 1-1. West Ham versus Bournemouth. West Ham have just came off a defeat against Liverpool. Gerard Bowen. Gerard Bowen missed a penalty from the penalty spot. Obviously, a big miss that. It's a very big miss. They could have got a point of Liverpool only winning 1-0. But very good result that for Liverpool, especially at Anfield as well. Bournemouth have just came off a defeat against Southampton, losing 1-0 there. Before that, they were in a great run, as we know. But no, I think West Ham. I think West Ham have been decent as of recently. I think they've turned the season around quite well. I'm going to go 2-0 for West Ham. 2-0 West Ham. And that is it for match week 13. That is my predictions. Put your predictions down below if you want. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you later.